Hi, everyone. This is Mrs. Johnson. These are my reading suggestions for doing some summer reading. I hope you're going to read this summer. I think it would be a great goal if you read one book in June, one book in July, and one book in August. The following are some great suggestions. I've read all these. I have loved all of these. There's a wide variety, and I feel like there's something for everyone. The first suggestion, I'm surprised at how many students have not read this because I felt like several years ago at least, several elementary teachers did this as a read aloud. So maybe because it's an older book, it's not being read as much. However, it is a beautiful book. I think you're going to love it. I even did this as a read aloud when I was a teacher at Learwood. And yes, I definitely read aloud to my students at Learwood every single day. I think it's so important to read aloud every day. This book is called The Miraculous Journey of Edward Tulane. It's by Kate DiCamillo, who's an amazing author. If you have not read anything by her, please pick up her books, especially Because of Winn-Dixie is a fantastic book by her. So The Miraculous Journey of Edward Tulane is about a rabbit, and he comes to life. And some of you may be thinking, eighth graders listen to a book about a toy rabbit? Yes, they did, and they loved it because it's a beautiful book. I'm going to read a little bit to you. This is from chapter 1. Once in a house on Egypt Street, there lived a rabbit who was made almost entirely of china. He had china arms and china legs, china paws and a china head, a china torso and a china nose. His arms and legs were jointed and joined by wire so that his china elbows and china knees could be bent, giving him much freedom of movement. His ears were made of real rabbit fur, and beneath the fur there were strong bendable wires, which allowed the ears to be arranged into poses that reflected the rabbit's mood, jaunty, tired, full of ennui. His tail, too, was made of real rabbit fur and was fluffy and soft and well-shaped. The rabbit's name was Edward Tulane, and he was tall. He measured almost 3 feet from the tip of his ears to the tip of his feet. His eyes were painted a penetrating and intelligent blue. In all, Edward Tulane felt himself to be an exceptional specimen. Only his whiskers gave him pause. They were long and elegant, as they should be, but they were of uncertain origin. Edward felt quite strongly that they were not the whiskers of a rabbit, whom the whiskers had belonged to initially. What unsavory animal? Was a question that Edward could not bear to consider for too long, and so he did not. He preferred, as a rule, not to think unpleasant thoughts. I hope you'll pick this one up. It's a great one. The next one I have for you is called The Miscalculations of Lightning Girl. It's a fantastic book. I read it a couple summers ago. I also have a class set in my classroom if you want to come borrow one when we're back at school. I think it's a great read. Also, there's a rescue dog in this book, so you know it's going to be a good one. I don't remember the moment that changed my life 4 years ago. Call it a side effect of being struck by lightning. That bolt of electricity burned a small hole in my memory. It also rewired my brain, transforming me into Lucille Fanny Callahan, math genius. I've been told the lightning strike story 42 times, so it's almost like my own memory. I see it perfectly. I'm at the Crystal Creek Apartments where Nana and I lived then. There's not really a creek, just a big dirty fountain in front. I'm playing outside with a girl named Cecilia when the thunderstorm starts. We live in North Carolina and storms happen all the time in the spring and summer. We watch from behind a tool shed. For some reason, I climb on the chain link fence. Maybe 8-year-old me was a daredevil. 12-year-old me definitely is not. Lightning strikes the fence, and the electricity runs through the metal links and then through me. Some of the current even jumps from me to Cecilia. I'm knocked out. Cecilia is just knocked over. She runs and gets help. Joe, the maintenance man, uses a defibrillator on me because the electricity from the lightning stopped my heart. The electricity from the defibrillator starts it back up. I do remember the hospital and the black burns on my pale hands. I remember pretending to be asleep while Nana prayed next to my bed. I only stayed in the hospital one night. The doctors did all their tests. They said my heart took a 2 to 5 minute nap. I hate that no one knows the exact number. They said I was lucky and I'd be fine, back to normal in a few days. But doctors are wrong sometimes. A week later, Nana and I were watching TV and a commercial came on for a used car dealership. The man was screaming, so I had to pay attention. That's $359 a month for 48 months, folks. He was really loud. Nobody beats Frank Fontana. Nobody. I yelled back. 17,232. What? Nana asked. So this book is all about how after she became struck by lightning, she became very, very bright. I hope to check this one out. The next book I have for you, the next several books I have for you that I'm going to highlight are poetry books, but they're told in like a novel form. For example, you may have read Love That Dog. The book Love That Dog is set up like poetry. There's a poem on every page, but it runs together as if it's reads like a novel. The next couple books I'm going to show you are exactly like that. And I love these types of books because sometimes when we are reading, we just want to read in small chunks of time. So, for example, if you just want to read for 5 minutes one day, you can read a couple of pages and then put your bookmark in and you'd be fine. Whereas with a regular book, it may take you longer to finish a chapter. So I do really like these next several books. This first one is called Before the Ever After. It's by Jacqueline Woodson. And the main character's father is a professional football player. But unfortunately, as what happens with football players and athletes is many, many times they get a concussion, especially football players from being hit. And ZJ's dad has gotten several concussions and he's really not been feeling well. And it's all about his relationship with his dad and what his dad is dealing with. Memory like a movie. The memory goes like this. Ollie's got the ball and he's running across my yard when Dad comes out of nowhere, soft tackles him to the ground. Then everyone is cheering and laughing because we didn't even know my dad was home. I thought you had a game, I say, grabbing him. It's a half hug, half tackle. But the other guys, Derry and Daniel, hop on too, and Ollie's escaped, so he jumps on top of all of us, jumping on my dad. Yeah, Mr. J, Derry says. I thought we'd be watching you on TV tonight. Coach giving me a break, my daddy says. He climbs out from under, shaking us off like we're feathers, not boys. Ah, man, Derry says. Yeah, we all say. Ah, man. Sometimes a player needs to rest, Daddy says. He looks at each of us for a long time, a strange look, like he's just now seeing us. Then he tosses the ball so far we can't even see it anymore. And my boys say, Ah, man, you threw it too far. While I go back behind the garage where we have a whole bunch of footballs waiting and ready for when my daddy sends one into the abyss. The next two books are by Kwame Alexander, and they are also the same format. Each page is a poem. I read both of these several years ago, so they're a little bit older, but I think they're fantastic. The first one is called Booked. Obviously, it's about soccer. The second one is called The Crossover. It's about basketball. I like The Crossover a little bit better, maybe because I like basketball better, but I think you would enjoy either one of these. So the first one I'm going to read from is Booked. Gameplay. On the pitch, lightning fast, dribble fake, then make a dash. Player tries to steal the ball, lift and step and make him fall. Zip and zoom to find the spot. Defense readies for the shot. Chip, then kick it in the air. Take off like a Belgian hare. Shoot it left, but watch it curve. All he can do is observe. Watch the ball bend in mid-flight. Play this game far into night. And you'll notice that each of these letters, of course, spell out soccer. Wake up call. After playing FIFA online with Kobe till 1:30 a.m. last night, you wake this morning to the sound of mom arguing on the phone with dad. The next book is a page from The Crossover. Dribbling. At the top of the key, I'm moving and grooving, popping and rocking. Why you bumping? Why you locking? Man, take this thumping. Be careful, though, because now I'm crunking, crisscrossing, flossing, flipping, and my dipping will leave you slipping on the floor while I swoop in to finish with a fierce finger roll straight in the hole. Swoosh. If you like sports, I think you will like these two books. The next book is the most recent Newbery Award winner. So you may know that the Newbery Award is a book award that is given to a highly interesting, well thought of young adult book. It's given out every January, towards the end of January, and there are a lot of fantastic books that win the Newbery Award. And again, this is the most recent. This one is called When You Trap a Tiger. I just recently finished this one. I listened to the audio. I love audiobooks. That's another great way to read this summer. I will read audiobooks while I'm out taking a walk or while I'm driving in my car, and I listen to the audio for this one, and I think it's fantastic. It's about a girl and her family, and they go to live with her grandmother. Her grandmother is from Korea and tells a lot of stories, very interesting stories. And the girl believes that she sees a tiger. So that's why it's called When You Trap a Tiger. So here are the first couple pages of this book. I can turn invisible. It's a superpower, or at least a secret power, but it's not like in the movies, and I'm not a superhero, so don't start thinking that. Heroes are the stars who save the day. I just disappear. See, I didn't know at first that I had this magic. I just knew that teachers forgot my name and kids didn't ask me to play. And one time at the end of fourth grade, a boy in my class frowned at me and said, "Where did you come from? I don't think I've ever seen you before." I used to hate being invisible, but now I understand. It's because I'm magic. My older sister, Sam, says it's not a real super secret power. It's just called being shy, but Sam can be rude. And the truth is, my power can come in handy, like when Mom and Sam fight, like right now. I wrap myself in invisibility and rest my forehead against the backseat window, watching raindrops slide down the side of our old station wagon. "You should stop the car," Sam says to Mom. Except Sam actually says this to her phone because she doesn't look up. She's sitting in the passenger seat with her feet slammed against the glove compartment, knees smashed into her chest, her whole body curled around her glowing screen. Mom sighs. "Oh, please, we don't need to stop. It's just a little rain." But she ticks the windshield wipers up a notch and taps the brakes until we're going slug slow. The rain started as soon as we entered Washington State, and it only gets worse as our car inches past the hand-painted "Welcome to Sunbeam" sign. So check this one out. It's a good one. The next two books. So Front Desk, if you were with me this year online in fifth grade, we read Front Desk, and I think the vast majority of us really love that book. It is a trilogy. The sequel is Three Keys. That's the one that I most recently read. I just read it over spring break, and then a new one is coming out in the fall. So I am going to show you the first page of Three Keys. I'll read just a little bit of it. And if you're watching this and have not read Front Desk, I highly recommend it. So read Front Desk first, and then read the sequel, Three Keys. Chapter 1. This is from Three Keys. A very wise person once told me that there are two roller coasters in America, one for the poor and one for the rich. I've only been on one of those roller coasters, and I thought I was never going to get off. But as I watched my best friend Lupe decorate the Cala Vista Motel pool with silver and gold lights, a smile stretched across my face. The lights were the kind you put up at your house at Christmas. Even though it was the middle of August and the summer sun beat down on us, it sure felt like Christmas. We were owners now. We had bought the motel from Mr. Yao, and we were finally going to run it our way. So I'm going to stop right there. And again, if you read Front Desk, then you'll know what's happening here. Highly recommend these two. So the track series, if you were with me this year in fifth grade, we read Ghost. Great book. I have also read the whole series. I also read Patina, the second one, Sunny, the third one, and Lou, the fourth one. I would say it's hard for me to choose which one is my favorite. I say it's pretty much a tie between Ghost and Patina. I really love both of them. I would say then my second choice would be Sunny, and then my third choice would be Lou. But again, they were all definitely worth reading, and the characters carry throughout the series. So if you're looking to start a new series, this is a great series to check out. And then the last book that I want to talk about is we read Lawn Boy in fifth grade for our economics unit. There is a sequel. If you loved Lawn Boy, then I think you'll really enjoy Lawn Boy Returns. It is the sequel to the book Lawn Boy, and I just think the characters are great, and they're a nice short read. So those are all of my suggestions for summer reading. I hope that you'll check something out, and then come see me and let me know what you read this summer.